Next, let's go and learn about Idea Coach. To do that, let's go click on Get Agents. Here, go to Build by Microsoft and click on Idea Coach. And just follow the same steps like what we performed like before, clicking on Adding. And this is going to add this into your Copilot. All right, so on the right hand side, soon you will be able to see the Idea Coach. You can click on Pin this to add it to the list of agents what you have and click on Idea Coach. All right, so to give you a quick refresher, Idea Coach is a brainstorming facilitator agent. It helps you plan and execute idea generation sessions by providing structure and creative prompts. And the features include you can brainstorm a topic, you can plan a brainstorming sessions, exercises, feedback, organize ideas, things like that. All right, so let's go through this one by one. So I'm going to use the first card. This is going to help us brainstorm a particular topic. So I'm going to run this. Hey, Idea Coach, can you help me brainstorm about a specific topic? It tells that, hey, I can help you. Can you tell me the specific topic you have in mind? So I'm going to tell, hey, how can I build an autonomous agent to solve or handle customer support emails? So let's see what it is going to come up with. It says that, hey, that's a great topic. Building an autonomous agent to handle customer support emails is a complex project. So let's give you some ideas. So it gives the introduction, some of the key components which it is thinking. First is natural language processing so that the agent can understand and interpret the emails. That is quite good. Second is machine learning models. What models we can use to solve a particular task. Integration with CRM systems. That is quite clever because we probably want to pick up these emails and address certain customer data and history and things like that. And some sort of an automation workflow. And some of the technologies which we can use, NLP libraries like Spacey, NLTK, Hugging Face, things like that. Machine learning frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch, email parsing tools like some of the custom scripts we can use, and CRM integration solutions like Salesforce or HubSpot. And it gives me some implementation steps as well. So now I can go ahead and give some specific details. I'm going to tell that, hey, we use Microsoft technology stack. I have access to Copilot Studio and AI Foundry, and we use D365 CRM internally. So let's see if it is going to slightly tweak the response. Now it is going to add all of the tips what it is shown before. Now it is going to overlap that with the Microsoft technology stack. So now if you look at it, NLP, it says that, hey, utilize the cognitive services. Machine learning model, it tells that, hey, use Azure machine learning. Integration, you can leverage D365 API, and automation workflow, you can use Power Automate. This is fantastic. So that's how you can take a small idea and start putting in more and more information until you get a final fine-tuned, almost ready to go steps to mitigate that problem or something what you are trying to solve. So that's a quick example about how you can use Idea Coach to brainstorm an idea or a topic. So let's click on New Chat. The next is Plan Brainstorming Session. So this is to, if you need help planning a brainstorming session, what can you do? Or how can you take help? So, hey, Idea Coach, I need help planning a brainstorming session. Here, then the Idea Coach is asking things like, what is this brainstorming topic? I'm going to tell it's an AI conference booth setup. When do you want to run this workshop? Today? How long should the workshop be? 2 hours? What are the ideation objective? Objective is find the cost for the vendor, who to support, and volunteers, etc. Is this session in person, remote, or hybrid? I'm going to tell it's a hybrid using Microsoft Whiteboard and Teams. And the last one is how many people will take part in this workshop? I'm going to say 10. Let's see what it is going to come up with. All right, so it says that, hey, great. Let's get started with planning. It gave me an agenda. Because it said 2 hours, it says that there is a time format for 2 hours. It included sections like introduction, icebreaker, vendor cost discussion, support and volunteers, interactive activity. This is so great. So I can probably take this agenda, start rolling with this discussion, and at a specific time I can say that, hey, let's go ahead and discuss about vendor cost discussion. Let's see if we can come up with an agreement. Then chart that in the whiteboard. Then I can see that, hey, how about who is going to support this event, and what are the volunteers, who are the volunteers who are going to sign up for this, and things like that. So this is quite good. And it give me some activity ideas as well. What do you need to do in the icebreaker, or what do you need to do in the vendor cost discussion, how to make it interactive activity. This is quite cool. All right, so let's go to new chat. The third one is brainstorming exercises. So here, the idea coach, can you help me find fun exercises for my brainstorming sessions? That is quite cool, because these brainstorming sessions can sometimes get tedious and complex, and it takes a good facilitator to run with some fun exercises to keep it active. All right, so it says that, hey, I can help you with it. What are the objectives of the brainstorming session? I'm going to say that this objective is to create a plan for organizational restructure. How many people will be attending? I'll say 50. How long should the exercise last? 8 hours. That's why I need a lot of activities to handle 50 people. And the topic is not quite good. It's an org restructure. So let's see what Copilot idea coach is going to come up with. All right, so here are some fun activities we can plan. So I didn't say 5 or 3, it's 50, so that's a correction. But you can see that other things are picked up: duration 8 hours, exercise suggestions. So main thing which I want to look out for is what are the activities it is planning or suggesting to make it fun. There is icebreaker activity, 2 truths and a lie. That is quite good because that opens up the crowd and gave us an indicative timing to run it. Each participant shared 3 statements about themselves and what it is. That's quite good. The second is group brainstorming. That is called mind mapping, to generate ideas and visualize the connection between them. That is quite good. That's a fun get together, get to know activity. Then the other suggestion is SWOT analysis. This is to identify strength, weaknesses, and opportunity. That's not quite fun, but I like the first 2 ideas. So if I need more, I can ask more. Can you suggest 3 more ideas? Yep. So it says that, hey, you can do a creative challenge, which is build a prototype. Fish bowl technique. What is that? To facilitate open and dynamic discussion. Arrange chair in a circle with a few chairs in the center. Fish bowl. Select a small group of participants to sit in the center to discuss a specific aspect of organizational restructuring. Rest of the participant will observe and join. That's quite cool. All right. Another one is World Cafe. I don't even know what this is. All right. So you can keep on asking intelligent question to refine it further and to get what you want to get out of. So we are not going to plan an organizational restructure. I basically wanted to show you the capability of this idea coach. Let's click on new chat. The next option we have is organizing ideas. Can you help me find tools to organize ideas? All right, absolutely. To get started, could you please provide me a bit of context about brainstorming exercises you ran? For example, what topic, how many ideas you generate, what are the goals, and things like that. I'm going to tell that, hey, I ran a session with 8 people to brainstorm on email marketing campaign for our new furniture line, and it was in person, and I used paper and pen. All right, so now let's look at the ideas. It says that blah blah blah. Since you ran the 8 people brainstorm for new furniture line, I used paper and pen. Here are some of the tools and technique you can use to ideas. One, I can either use Evernote, that is a digitalize handwritten notes by scanning them into Evernote. That's quite cool. The next is OneNote. Similar to Evernote, OneNote lets you organize your notes into notebooks. Mind mapping tools, you can either use MindMeister or XMind. Project management tools like Trello and Asana, and some next steps on how I can iterate and further fine tune things like that. So this is quite cool. So again, a high level idea about what are the tools I can use. So if I provide a good valid prompt, I might be walking away with some good ideas about what tools I should be using. So this is quite a vague prompt. I was just kind of teasing Copilot. Now let's go and click on new chat. The next is feedback and improvement. Can you give me some feedback on my session? So let's run this. It is asking me to provide some details like example about the topic, participants, and things like that. So I'm going to tell that, hey, this topic was team building, and we had 10 participants, which included brainstorming activity and a group discussion. So it is probing and asking you more and more details like, hey, what type of brainstorming activity you did, how was the group discussion happened, and things like that. I'm going to tell, hey, it was fairly quiet and nobody participated and the room was hot. So he said that, hey, thanks for sharing that. So some of the feedback is, it sounds like you had a well structured session, but the environment and engagement levels are not ideal. Addressing these issues can significantly improve this in the future. So that's how you can use the feedback box to get some suggestions and things like that for the feedback on whatever you are conducting. The next option is training and development. Hey, can you help me improve my skills for brainstorming session? That is personal improvement. So if you are somebody who facilitate and run this session, you can probably take help from this. To get started, could you let me know the specific skills you want to improve? I want to say that, hey, I want to improve my facilitation skills. All right. On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your current facilitation skill? I would say 3. All right. So thanks for sharing the current level. So how comfortable are you with setting clear goal and objective? Average. How do you handle difficult opinions? Good. How do you ensure that all participants are engaged and contributing? Poor. How do you manage time effectively during session? Average. How do you summarize and organize the ideas generated during the session? Poor. So I'm expected to give more detailed responses because it is asking how. So I should actually do a write up. So instead of that, I'm just gonna give some keywords. Let's see what it is gonna come up with some recommendation. All right. So acknowledgement. It is great that you're aware of your strength and areas of improvement. Based on that, it is going to give me some improvement plan. First, setting clear objective. What can you do? Practice before each session. Spend some time defining clear and specific objective. Use tools like SMART goals. Be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. How to ensure participant engagement. Techniques. Use icebreakers and interactive activities. Create an environment to be safe and inclusive so that everybody is comfortable sharing their ideas. Another tip what I got is summarizing and organizing ideas. Use method like mind maps to actually organize it. Regularly practice summarizing discussion. That is quite good. How do you manage time effectively? Good planning and allocation of each time for activities. Techniques, you can use things like Pomodoro technique to keep the session on track. So that is quite good. So what we have learned is how you can use Idea Coach to either brainstorm an idea from a topic, or how can you plan a brainstorming session, to what are the structures or things you can incorporate within an exercise. How do you organize your idea or improving with some of the tools? If you already had some sessions, if you want to run your feedback and look for improvements, you can run that over this. And finally, some of the areas which you want to develop, you can ask the idea coach for some tips and tricks. So this is quite good. So that's how you use Idea Coach.